Austerities of Flame. Acting Guildmaster Thurbergem has news of a task which might interest you. Greetings, Raid. It is well that you have come, for we have an intriguing matter to discuss. A request has come to our guild from the Sons of St. Cognac, an organization of some of the finest minds in Eorzea, and they have asked for you by name. It appears that the research the Sons are currently conducting would benefit from the assistance of an Arcanist, specifically one who has had the tempering experience of defeating the primal Ifrit. Though I must admit to some curiosity as to how these scholars knew the extent of your heroic exploits, I suppose the source of their knowledge is of little relevance. If you would answer this request, then you will find your contact, a researcher by the name of Ymitra, at Apakalu Falls in the nation of Gridania. You're RaideDuku, I assume. Well met, and thank you for coming. My name, as you've obviously surmised, is Ymitra. I'm a member of the Sons of St. Cognac. Ours is a Charlian order that seeks the lost knowledge of the Allegan Empire. In that regard, we have recently made a singularly important discovery at our dig site in Mordona. We salvaged the ruins of ancient texts describing the existence of a sect of Allegan mages known as Summoners. These were arcane practitioners said to have the ability to siphon the essences of the primals and manifest the stolen energy as a biddable ally known as an Edgy. Should we succeed in resurrecting such arts, then we might well hold in our hands the power to bring this age of conflict to an end. There is, however, as there always must be, one monumental obstacle in realizing this reality. In order to manifest these obedient incarnations of the Beastman's savage deities, one must first defeat a primal and capture its etheric essence. Thus, only one who can boast such a daunting achievement under his belt may even begin the path of becoming a summoner. Do you understand now why I called upon you? If you wish to contribute to my research, then come to me in the west of Bayergot Strike in southern Thanalan. There shall we conduct a ritual of summoning, the Austerities of Flame. Greetings to you once more, Raid. I had the feeling that this unique opportunity would be nigh impossible for you to ignore. Let us proceed directly to the ritual, shall we? According to the records we recovered, the summoners of old would perform these rites in a land in which the naturally dominant element matched the aspect of the avatar they wished to call forth. Only in such a place might one sufficiently shift one's etheric balance in the desired direction. The element of fire is especially strong here in the Sagoli Desert. I can think of no land more fitting in which to summon an incarnation of the Lord of the Inferno. Before we begin, I must insist that you accept this gem. It may appear of little worth, but within its faceted depths dwell the memories of long-deceased summoners. Now you must focus. Visualize the aether flowing through you, a vibrant current of energy transforming into living fire. Hold this image in your mind, and the raging heat of your life force shall spawn an edgy wreathed in flames. Be aware, however, that this nascent entity will appear before you unbound and hostile. It is your charge to overpower this avatar, and establish yourself as its master. The path of the summoner is not if not fraught with peril. The heat is almost intolerable. Pray defeat this entity swiftly, Raid. Oh. Hey, come on, Carbuncle. Come on out. There you go. Ifrit Edgy has summoned sprites to do his bidding. Have a care that they do not surround you. Ifrit Edgy invokes his Crimson Nails. You must shatter the Crimson Nails. They amplify the Edgy's powers. Crimson Nails are destroyed. Now it's time to press your attack. Most impressive, Raid. The Fireborn Edgy has submitted to your will. You have mastered the austerities of flame, and that is no small feat. Pray let us return to Pakalu Falls, that we might further discuss your achievement. This is a truly monumentous occasion. You have rescued the lost art of summoning from the grasping mire of forgotten history. But you must know more of the avatar you have bound. In the ancient tongue of the Allegan Empire, it would have been known as Ifrit Egi, where Egi translates approximately to pure or the essence of. In short, you have obtained a willful manifestation of Ifrit's raging fires. As you might expect from an entity born of the Lord of the Inferno, this avatar and its capacity for destruction should serve you well in your battles to come. With such an ally at your command, it is not too soon to take upon yourself the title of Summoner. You have proven yourself more than worthy of the soul crystal you now possess. Yet be that as it may, the road before you is long and arduous. If you would triumph in this age of conflict, you must needs master more than just the edgy of fire. I suggest you next fix your gaze upon claiming a servant of unyielding stone. You once seized victory against the primal titan, did you not? Though I admit I am eager to progress directly to the austerities of Earth, we must be careful not to overtax your reserves of strength. Rest well, and spend some time to grow accustomed to your newfound abilities. Once you feel prepared to continue with our historical research, you will find me here waiting your arrival with barely constrained impatience. You learn how to summon Ifrit Edgy. Blah blah blah. Austerities of Earth. Ymitra, the researcher at Apocalypse Falls, wishes to proceed with your next summoning ritual. Titan's essence infuses your aura, Raid. I foresee no further obstacles preventing us from attempting the next ritual. Shall we proceed with the austerities of Earth? I have every confidence that you'll succeed in binding Titan Edgy to your will. According to my research, the most suitable location for the ritual is a place found to the southwest of Alder Springs in the North Shroud. A heretofore buried layer of ancient rock exposed by the violent upheavals of the calamity has lent the surrounding area an overwhelming earthen aspect. The conditions will be perfect. I await you at our destination, Raid. Whoops. I'm not gonna go around all that. I'm cheating a little bit, but that's fine. Where'd the flying... There we go. The ritual you are about to perform is, essentially, no different from the austerities of flame. Instead of fire, however, you will be concentrating on shifting your etheric balance toward the spectrum of Earth. Once you have achieved the required state of earthen affinity, the primal's captured essence will tumble forth and coalesce into the stony form of Titan Edgy. As before, you must demonstrate unflinching authority if you would convince the newborn avatar to heed your commands. Let us begin. The mere presence of Edgy is suffocating. Is that the weight of a mountain presses upon my chest. The entity has summoned the allies of Earth. The etheric flow, it shakes the very ground. Oh, well done, Raid.
I come in search of elegant relics, and what do I find but a pair of incompetent dabblers? By what jest of fate did you chance to cross such undeserved power?
And who might you be, sirs, to so boldly question our accomplishments?
If you have indeed unlocked the secrets of summoning, then you must be in possession of the very treasure I seek. How terribly convenient. I need only slay you both and take what I need from your bloody corpses.
Gods below! A summoner! But how?
Cease your infantile prattle. The continuation of my divine work far outweighs the worth of your pitiful lives. How fortunate to die by my hand. Naught but ash shall remain of your wretchedness.
Defend yourself, Raid! His words are no empty threat!
You think to stand against me? Foolish bravado. You'll burn nonetheless.
Be on your guard! His power is building!
Why do you struggle so? Your unwillingness to accept oblivion but delays the inevitable. Heed me, Avatar of Eternal Flame. Incinerate these fools in all-consuming hellfire! What?
Feels nature's fury, you vile black god!
I tire of this childish game. Thank your gods for granting you another day of miserable existence.
He's gone. What a decidedly unpleasant fellow.
You have learned to summon Titan Edgy.
Well, I suggest that we return to Apakalu Falls. I have no desire to linger here and chance another encounter with whomever that deranged mage was. I must say, I did not expect to meet another practitioner in the summoning arts. and I also did not expect to be suddenly fighting for my life. What precious treasure do we carry that this callous stranger was so willing to kill us to possess it? Such mysteries aside, I am most glad that you were able to secure Titan Edgy before the summoner decided to unleash his fiery avatar. Without its protection, I doubt we would have survived that conflagration. The Edgy of Earth, as was so aptly demonstrated, is not a force to be trifled with. We should certainly take the time to explore its capabilities, as well as its limitations. Be careful, however, not to neglect other magics at your disposal. Meanwhile, I shall confer with my colleagues in the Sons of St. Cognac, and see what I might learn of the hostile summoner. We shall meet anon.
You have learned a new summoning spell. Shadowing the Summoner. Ymitra wishes to share with you the results of her investigation.
How fared you with your training, Raid? As for my part, I had had some success in uncovering the identity of our mystery attacker. We knew that our assailant was capable of summoning Ifrit Edgy, so I perused the records of our past expeditions for those who have claimed to have triumphed against the Lord of the Inferno. Of these victorious primal hunters, there were 8 names listed as present whereabouts unknown. After eliminating unlikely candidates based on race and gender, I was left with but a single name, Tristan. Assuming the records are accurate, this hero was once registered as a soldier in the Immortal Flames. As to how the man came by his skills as a summoner, or why he sought to kill us, however, I remain woefully ignorant. Nonetheless, I have witnessed him use the art of summoning for casual brutality, and that I cannot countenance. His powers should never be employed for the sake of tyranny or personal gain, but is meant to oppose such evils. It is our responsibility to bring this Tristan to justice. Should we stand idle, his reprehensible actions could very well stain the good name of future summoners who have yet to answer their calling. The art itself could be outlawed, the very mention of it taboo. Now, through my inquiries, I was able to determine that a war comrade from Tristan's days in the military resides in Little Alamigo. I ask that you pay a visit to this former soldier and learn what he knows of our callous villain.
Well, seems like Tristan wasn't telling tall tales after all. Said I could expect some primal-added sod to show up and start asking questions. Why don't you stay here and play with some friends of mine? I have a message to deliver. It's all yours, ladies!
You are set upon? The fiend is one step ahead of us. I'd wager 10 years of dig site findings that Tristan warned his old allies long before you set foot in that settlement. They thought you were one of the tempered, immortal enthralled to a primal's will. In addition to being ruthless, it appears that our opponent is highly intelligent, and not quite as deranged as I first assumed. Such a level of planning hints at the existence of some greater scheme, but that is still all we know. For the moment, we must be content with the knowledge that he perceives us as a threat and is aware of our efforts to track him. Speaking of which, you did exceedingly well to survive the trap into which I literally sent you. I must apologize for my carelessness. I will not underestimate this man again. On a happier note, however, my efforts to decipher the Allegan text proceed apace. Here, you must read this. With your skills already tried and tested against the edgy, you should have little difficulty in mastering a secondary summoning technique such as this. Let's put this day's disaster behind us and focus on the wonders that lie ahead.
You learned a new summoning spell. Pain Flare. Allegan Attire. Ymitra wishes to share with you her thoughts on dealing with Tristan.
Greetings, Raid. Though it is good to see you, I'm afraid I have yet to ascertain Tristan's ultimate objective. I only know that he is cunning and brutal, and will stop at nothing to achieve his purpose. As matters stand, we but chase after this man's shadow. Such a straightforward pursuit will, I believe, leave us ever one step behind. Our sole advantage is the treasure we possess that Tristan appears to covet. Eventually, his desire will bring him to us. Where and when Tristan will strike, I cannot say, but it is unlikely to be on a field of our choosing. Thus, I suggest we prepare for this inevitable conflict as best we may. As fortune would have it, the ruins of Mordona may have provided us with a new source of strength. Word among the Suns is the set of evoker's attire has been unearthed. Made during the reign of the Allegan Empire, these enchanted garments were sewn for the exclusive use of summoners. I can only imagine the degree to which they will enhance your already impressive powers. The man supervising the excavation efforts in St. Coignac's Fine, Rambros, is a dear friend of mine. In light of our circumstances, I am certain that he will consent to a request that you are allowed to don the attire. Shall we pay him a visit?
Ah, Ymitra, I suspected you would make an appearance before long. I presume this fine gentleman is the new summoner I've heard so much about?
Yes, hopefully the one first of many. Now pray tell me, Rambros, has the discovery of Allegan made evoker's attire been confirmed?
It has. Truly a historical find.
Then I would ask a boon of you, my friend. You recall the predicament of which I spoke. Our chances of survival would be greatly improved if you would consider allowing Ray to wear the Allegan garments.
Well, he is a summoner after all. I must confess to no small degree of scholarly curiosity as to the effect the attire will have on one with the appropriate training. These finds are, however, the result of much sweat and even a few tears on the part of our excavation team. 'Tis a frustrating task at times, and I fear they will be loath to part with the garments without some measure of recompense for their efforts. Allow me, though, to offer a solution. Metallic monstrosities of Allegan construction known as mere knights have risen from the dig sites scattered across Mordona. Needless to say, they pose a dangerous threat to our excavators. I suggest you speak to my 3 field researchers and dispose of any such nasty hindrances to their work. I dare say they will then gladly surrender the pieces of the attire they hold. Once I have confirmed our dig sites suitably empty of armored horrors,
I will see you rewarded with the garment that I myself recovered for the ruins.
A mere knight lurks just over yonder. I can scarce think straight with that thing wandering about. Oh gods, it approaches! You have my thanks. Now I might finally be able to concentrate on my tasks. If I'm not mistaken, you are in search of an evoker's attire? I have one of the wondrous pieces right here. You're most welcome to it. Praise the gods! Rambo said an adventure would be along, but please, you must destroy the horrid construction! Thank you for eliminating the source of my recent nightmares. I do not ordinarily stutter so, you see, but abject terror has that effect on folk. Now, I hear from Ymitra that you need of this elegant garment. I should be glad to see it put to practical use, rather than shut away in some dusty vault.
Mere knights? Yes, they have become quite bothersome. I would be most appreciative if you were to eliminate the creaking pest that has been plaguing me as late. Fascinating. I never thought I would be fortunate enough to observe a conflict against an elegant construction at such close quarters. This has been a deeply enriching experience. If the price is to be the piece of my evoker's attire, then so be it.
Oh, where am I going? Ah, the champion of my researches returns. With the ruins now free of mere knights, the excavations can proceed at a far more satisfying pace. Trembling in fear for one's life makes it astonishingly difficult to handle ancient artifacts that have a tendency to crumble into dust. You have performed a valuable duty for us, Raid. As promised, you shall have the Summoner's Garment uncovered by my own hand as your reward. Ah, yes. Ymitra mentioned she would await you at Apakulu Falls. It seems there was no doubt in her mind that you would succeed here.
So, this was how the summoners of old were clad. Well, more or less. It is unfortunate that the ruins have yet to surrender the final piece to the suns. These garments, aside from the coloring, they are identical to the garb Tristan wore. He will find no edge against you through his equipment. When next you face that murderous cad, victory will be decided purely by who is the more talented summoner. To that end, it is time you drew on your experience on defeating the primal Garuda. Yes, her aura of fickle violence is palpable on you. It is daunting to imagine an edgy born of the Lady of the Vortex. Such unpredictable ferocity should serve you well. I will search for a suitably airy location in which to perform the austerities of wind. You, my dear summoner, must needs prepare your body and mind for the trials ahead. I shall be waiting.
I think I'm going to go ahead and put on the summoner stuff. Don't have the main bit yet. I look kind of goofy, but whatever. Austerities of Wind. Ymitra wishes you to attempt the next summoning ritual.
I sense Garuda's restless essence railing within the confines of your etheric channels. It is time we granted it release with the austerities of wind. Thankfully, I have already in mind a location that well suits our elemental purposes. You are familiar with the floating city of Nim in outer La Nocia. As you might imagine, the aspect of wind is entirely dominant in the area of those suspended isles. Pray make your way there as soon as you feel prepared. I am quite excited to see this new Edgy. Shall we begin? I assume that as this is your third such experience, you have now grown familiar with the steps of the ritual. Thus, as before, I would have you concentrate on shifting your etheric balance. Imagine the energy within you howling through your veins, an incessant gale of screeching wrath. Garuda's essence will be only too eager to harness those raging currents and shape them into a worldly avatar. Once Garuda Edgy has appeared, it falls to you to tame its fury. Such powerful winds! There can be no doubt we'll face Garuda's spawn. Beware the Avatar's feathers! To my eyes deceive me? I'm certain you summoned but one edgy.
You have learned to summon Garuda Edgy.
Masterfully done, Raid. Garuda Edgy's power is now yours to wield. Your aptitude for the art of summoning has exceeded my highest expectations. I honestly could not have found a more valuable partner for my research. Let us return to Apakalu Falls. I am sure you must be exhausted after this ordeal. With the addition of Garuda Edgy, you now command 3 powerful avatars. As you have no doubt realized, however, each of these entities has a particular role in which it excels. For Garuda Edgy, that role is unleashing magic to strike down distant foes. I must admit to feeling equal parts joy and apprehension at how faithfully the summoned being displays the original Primal's volatile disposition. Experiment with your edgy allies, and the most effective use of their individual abilities will soon become clear. With such mastery of the art at your disposal, I shall almost pity Tristan when next he chooses to confront you. Before that time comes, however, I will endeavor to piece the mystery of his motivations. May your discoveries bring you new confidence, Raid.
Learn a new summoning spell. Summon Garuda. Little note about my suit. The traditional summoner garb is a green color, as people that are fans of Final Fantasy knows, but I like blue. And gold goes well with blue, so I dyed the horn gold. And you might notice I might not have the normal thigh boots on. That's because I dislike them. It's cold, yo. So, yeah. So, yeah, that's basically it. This actually, once glamours and dyeable artifact gear became a thing, this became my default suit for the rest of ARR. So, I'm going to go with that instead of the traditional outfit. Hey, if the main bad guy of the Summoner quest can wear a purple and black version, I can wear a blue and gold version. Bite me. Anyway. Primal Burdens. Ymitra has some terrible news to tell you.
Raid, there has been a terrible incident. My poor colleagues at St. Cognac's Find, murdered. The reports are confused, but they all mention the same black-robed attacker. You know as well as I do that Tristan's behind this massacre. He has indeed grown bold, or desperate, to commit such a brazen act. We should set off for Moradona at once and speak with any survivors. It may be that we can glean some idea of what that cold-hearted monster was after, or where he might strike next. We must stop him, Raid. Through the necessity pains me. We must ask this man what he remembers of the attack. Tristan cannot be allowed to escape the consequences of his unrepentant savagery.
Yes, I'm absolutely certain. It was that same dark summoner whom Mitra described to us. We were celebrating a recent find, the soul crystal of an Allegan summoner, when a man in black robes suddenly appeared and demanded we surrender the gem. Naturally, we objected to the arrogant imposition, but he simply sneered at our refusal. The next moment the world exploded into flame. Through a haze of agony, I saw him snatch up the soul crystal from a smoldering body and stride off toward the singing shards. That bastard slaughtered my friends. There was no warning, no negotiation. If the gods grant you the chance to exact vengeance, then I pray you show him the same mercy he afforded us.
Another soul crystal. Yes, it makes sense that he would shift his attention to a more easily obtainable gem. After all your progress, you would now make for a most formidable opponent. I must apologize for not sharing my theory earlier. I suspected that Tristan might desire this soul crystal that you carry, but did not wish to draw any premature conclusions without sufficient evidence. I am at a loss, however, to explain why he seeks to collect more of these Allegan relics. We shall just have to ask the villain himself when we corner him at the Singing Shards. Let us be on our way.
Oops. Oh, I'm good.
I have brought the soul crystals, as promised. Yes, this appear to be authentic Allegan artifacts. Very well, I shall honor our bargain. From within these gems I will draw forth the memories of ancient summoners, and the slumbering essence of an elder primal. All the attendant knowledge and power shall be yours. Ah! Oh gods, the fade. The bumbling summoner and his incompetent lackey make an appearance at last. You think to capture me? Fools, I've orchestrated your every move. You have grown much in the art, it is true, but through the wisdom of the Paragons, I now command the power of an Elder Primal.
You made a deal with the Paragons, and you call us fools? The Assassins will never relinquish their hold on you.
It's a small price to pay. If you could but feel the strength that fills my entire being, it is indescribable. I will use this power to annihilate the beast tribes and put an end to their insufferable rituals once and for all. The primals will rise no more. Hear me, demon king of the devouring flame. Feed on my ever-burning anguish and be reborn! The culmination of my sacred duty is at hand! But first, there's one more soul crystal that must be mine. I will tolerate its wasted potential no longer! Behold the might of Belias!
I've never before sensed such power. All the more reason to defeat this madman.
No, it is not enough! Belias, I must have it all! Ah, the tendrils of darkness! I feel them! None could withstand this Trinibus ever!
I didn't think it's possible. He absorbed the Edgy's power.
This power! I am a god amongst men! By all the memories of summoners past, I should have been unstoppable. I will sear the disease abasement from the face of the land. Deprived of worshippers, the primal that tip of my weak-willed sibling will wither into oblivion.
So, I see my order's records were accurate. Though it was buried deep in the archives, I but recently uncovered a report that described how you slew your own brother. He was corrupted during your ill-fated encounter with Ifrit, was he not? I imagine your superiors in the Immortal Flames thought it a mercy to conceal that inglorious detail.
Once the soft-headed fool had been tempered, there was no saving him. And thus I took it upon myself to expunge the stain of embarrassment. But my work is left undone. The primal. No. All primals must suffer for that insult. After I killed my brother, I found myself liberated, my vision clear. No deed was too vile that promised to add to the power I required. How can you not see? I am the sword of vengeance, and I shall wrest that soul crystal from your blasted corpse!
I wonder which struck the first blow to his sanity, the despair at his brother's tempering, or the guilt for him slaying his own kin. It is ironic to think that, discounting the means, our purposes were fundamentally one and the same. A summoner employs the savagery of the primals to conquer the primals themselves. Had Tristan approached us as an ally, we might have found ourselves aiding his cause. Alas, he chose to walk the path of bloodshed. Each vicious act must have pushed the man deeper into madness until, eventually, the lust for power and vengeance was all that drove him. The might of the primals carries with it a burden of responsibility and a measure of danger. I hope never to see you corrupted by the potent energies you wield, Raid. It is time we return to Apakalu Falls. The Dark Summoner is no more. Oh, how I would love to declare our troubles at an end, but I fear the Ascian with whom Tristan made his bargain is yet afoot. These so-called paragons prey upon men and women who are at their weakest, speaking honeyed words to lead them down the road to destruction. In this manner, they seek to plunge the realm of Eorzea into chaos. It is reassuring to know that heroes like you exist to foil their never-ending schemes and foul plots. An outright war against the Ascians looms closer day by day. Thus would I have you armor yourself with this last piece of the evoker's attire. It was discovered at the same dig site which Tristan seized the soul crystal, and the St. Cognac's Fine researchers, grateful for your actions in bringing the murderous summoner to justice, insisted that you complete your set. One can never be over-prepared when heading into battle against a paragon. Wear it proudly, Raid. Speaking of preparations, were you aware of the deeper layer of power hidden within your avatars? A technique exists that allows you to tap into the full potential of your Edgy. You must have seen Tristan employing this ability. During the final battle with the Dark Summoner, you would have heard a whisper emanating from the Soul Crystal. Still your mind now, Raid, and you will hear the voices of the ancient summoners instructing you in their greatest achievement. The true power of the Edgy will be yours.
Climatic battle awakens ancient memories within you.